0864. Stations your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a presentation of Learfield. Welcome to Duck Insider.
Our whole athletic department, there's a level of expectations of success.
Throw, catch, touchdown, Oregon.
He can run and slam.
He's back out for a three. Left wing is good.
Deep to right field at the warning track. See ya.
Really excited that we get to rep our Ducks and hopefully come back to Eugene with some championships.
At the buzzer.
We have so many teams that are excelling right now, and it's really fun to be a part of.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Huge win for Oregon.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
It's a sweep for track and field. The Ducks are Pac-12 champions, both in the men's track and field and for the women's track and field team. Love to see it. Pac-12 track and field champions. A sweep for the men and the women at Hayward Field. That's so cool to say. Back where it belongs at Hayward Field, and the men and women of Oregon both atop the podium. Hayward hosted the conference meet for the first time since 2017, and for the first time since 2017, both Oregon teams stood with that trophy in hand. Got to be a great feeling. Having racked up 4 event titles Friday and Saturday, the UO men and women tripled that total for the meet by taking home 8 on Sunday, including sprint doubles by Kemba Nelson and Makai Williams. The Oregon women amassed 167 points to take home their first team win since 2017, well ahead of runner-up Colorado at 102.5. USC, the team that won the previous 3 Pac-12 women's titles, including last spring in Los Angeles, was 4th with 78 points. On the men's side, Oregon piled up 161 points to win a 15th straight team title. Washington took second with 105 points. So let me just rephrase. 161 points for the men, 105 was second place. 167 points for the women, 102.5 was second place. Well done, Ducks. Congratulations to Robert Johnson. Congratulations to the entire Oregon track and field team. That is pretty phenomenal for the Ducks. They won the Pac-12 title, the 10th ever conference sweep for the men and the women. Robert Johnson said, quote, to continue to do that on the men's side for 15 years and then for the women with all the drama and things that they've been through this year, for them to rally around one another and support one another and be a super, super teamy team, which might be the most Robert Johnson quote I've ever heard in my entire life. I think that's outstanding for them to get back in their rightful place. That's Coach Johnson. He said, you know, they were bridesmaids for a few years, and so to have them back up there on top of the podium, I am super excited and proud. Kemba Nelson took home 3 titles on the day, helping the 4x100-meter relay team win before taking first at both the 100 and 200 meters. The Ducks also swept the triple jump events with wins from Lexi Ellis and Emmanuel Umije, and got a title from Elliott Cook in the men's 800. Williams posted a meet record in the men's 100 by running 9.93 and doubled back in the 200 by edging a Stanford runner at the line with a personal best 20.05. Nelson shot out of the blocks in her 2 individual races, running a season best 11.05 in the 100 and a new PR in the 200 of 22.74. Robert Johnson also said, they say you can't run fast in the Pacific Northwest, but we continue to prove that wrong. 10th conference sweep for the men and women of Oregon in track and field, the Pac-12 track and field champions. We're going to hear more from them coming up over the course of this week because now, look, this is great. track and field posters abound. That's what you love to see it, right? The Pac-12 Championships are now behind us. Well, the pre-classic is coming up May 27th and May 28th. I got to point at this one so you can actually see it. The NCAA Championships coming up June 8th through 11th. So don't look now, but still a lot of track and field in the summer of Hayward. And the NCAA West preliminaries are out in Fayetteville starting next Wednesday, following Wednesday. So we're going to hear more getting ready for the West prelims coming up. But congratulations to the Oregon track and field teams. Just an outstanding accomplishment. Way to go. Way to go, Ducks. We'll take some of your Facebook comments and questions, YouTube comments, questions. If you're on the Twitters, let me know if you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour. Pretty impressive, though. And also of note, for Oregon track and field, this is great, but a lot of other things to cover today, including men's golf. Best of luck in the NCAA regionals. They're in action today through Wednesday. Good luck to Casey Martin and his squad as they have teed off if you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour. Oregon softball headed to the NCAA tournament. Oregon baseball got a series win at Arizona State. First time in program history the Ducks have won a series at Arizona State. And they did it in pretty convincing fashion. We'll talk about that a little bit more here from Mark Wazakowski. And with the victories this weekend for Oregon baseball, how about this? Loved this from Rob Mosley on Twitter. Oregon was one of 4 Power 5 athletic departments to celebrate 10 football wins and 20 in both men's and women's basketball this year. With baseball getting a couple wins, Oregon is the only one of the 4 to make it a 10, 20, and 30 year with 30 wins in both diamond sports as well, because baseball and softball both got to that 30-win mark now this season. That's 10 football wins, 20 wins for men's basketball, 20 wins for women's basketball, 30 wins for softball, 30 wins for baseball, and a conference championship in men and women's track and field, and a conference championship in women's golf. It's a good time to be a Duck, isn't it? Yeah, that was a pretty cool thing to think about. Broad-based excellence. I know I sound like coach speak when I say that. Broad-based excellence, but, I mean, how much more broad-based can you get? Just consistent success across the athletic department, which is, well, frankly, just pretty darn cool. All right, Oregon softball. Team is headed to the NCAA tournament for the 22nd time in program history. Congratulations to the Ducks. They're headed to Fayetteville, Arkansas, where they will play Wichita State in an opening round game Friday at 5:30 Pacific time, approximately, on ESPN+. I say approximately because Arkansas and Princeton will play at 3 p.m. Pacific time. That one's on SEC Network. Oregon and Wichita State on ESPN+, and on KWVA. Student radio station making the trip. Ryan Milano is here today, voice of Oregon softball. He's running audio. He will be making the trip. His flight scheduled for Thursday. That's right. You can tune in on the student radio station, KWVA 88.1 FM for the hometown broadcast. Ducks will be making their second straight NCAA regional appearance. The Ducks ranked number 22 in the latest polls. In 2021, the Ducks advanced to the regional final in Austin, Texas. Wild night of softball, playing well into the morning. Truthfully, well into the morning. That happened last year, so the Ducks are battle-tested. This group is for sure. On the season, the Ducks finished 31-17 overall, finished 5th in the Pac-12 at 10-14. Ducks have played the second toughest schedule in the nation, according to the latest NCAA RPI report. This will be the first time Oregon and Wichita State, who went 33-16, have met this postseason. Overall, the Ducks lead the series with the Shockers 4-1. Though the two teams haven't met since 2009. It's been a while since the Ducks played Wichita State. The Ducks and Arkansas have played once in the NCAA tournament, a 3-0 Oregon win in 2008. Overall, the series is tied 3-3 between the Ducks and the Razorbacks. Two teams haven't played since 2011. Oregon won its lone meeting with Princeton, a 7-0 decision in 1996. Arkansas, Princeton, Ducks, Wichita State. Approximately 5:30 on Friday. How long is the pregame show going to be on KWVA? It'll be a long one. Yeah, Ryan says it'll be a long one because, look, we don't know exactly when that game will start. But the Ducks playing Friday night, approximately 5:30 Pacific time. I will be tuned in. while broadcasting Oregon baseball, because the baseball team plays at 4 o'clock on Friday, 6 o'clock Thursday for Oregon baseball, and noon on Saturday. I want to remind you about that. Bark in the Park, by the way. Head to GoDucks.com. You can bring your best friend out to the ballpark with you. For Oregon baseball, coming off a series win against Arizona State, they will play tomorrow at 6 o'clock against Gonzaga. That's a team that is jockeying for position to host an NCAA regional. The reason I say that is Gonzaga in the latest RPI report is at number 24. The Ducks sit at number 31 in the latest RPI report. Two teams that are really jockeying for position here down the stretch. We'll tell you about that a little bit more coming up in a moment. We're going to hear from Coach Lombardi, going to hear from Allie Bunker, going to hear from Tara Mcgowan when we return. But I do want to point out that Wichita State can really swing the bats. Wichita State, Arkansas, and Oregon, I believe, account for 3 of the top 26 home run hitting teams in the country. Ryan, you're nodding in approval? Yeah. Might see the long ball in the Fayetteville Regional. Oregon and Arkansas, Wichita State, Princeton. That's the bracket. Remember, it's a double elimination 4-team bracket, and it begins on Friday in the NCAA regionals for Oregon softball. About 5:30, they'll play Wichita State. When we come back, let's hear from Coach Lombardi. She's excited. That's next. It's Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Summer starts here at your local Toyota dealer. Come in for huge savings on great Toyotas, like the adventurous RAV4, the sleek Venza, and the Ruby Highlander. For more information, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Summer starts here at your local Toyota dealer. Come in for huge savings on great Toyotas, like the adventurous RAV4, the sleek Venza, and the Ruby Highlander. For more information, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam, ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. The Ducks feeling pretty good for track and field, and Hayward Field was rocking. Man, I got to tell you, so I was out with Oregon baseball for the series at Arizona State, and just seeing all of the celebration and seeing the crowd of 5,000 plus at Hayward Field for the Pac-12 Championships, just well done, fans. It's Tracktown USA for a reason. The Pac-12 title belongs in Oregon, as it should be. I think that the Ducks, they're on the horizon of something pretty cool. So we'll tell you a little bit more about that coming up. But shout out also to redshirt freshman Ty Hampton. He won the Pac-12 title in the men's javelin Friday night. Oregon also registered a runner-up finish in the 10,000 meters that night as well. A few other scorers. And, you know, it's amazing in track and field. I could spend an entire show listing all of the scorers that the Ducks had. You can find them all on GoDucks.com. But there's obviously some standout moments. But what was really cool, at least for me, kind of tuning in from afar, right, and following it, you don't get a sense following from afar on when these things are going on throughout the course of a meet, right? Because there's these sheets that coaches will have. It's like, okay, I think we're going to score here. I think we're going to score here based on times that we've seen throughout the season. Well, for example, the Ducks actually had Manuel Umajay, the two-time defending NCAA indoor champion. He was looking to repeat as the NCAA champ outdoors. He was leading the triple jump entering his last attempt. Then he went ahead and improved his mark. And afterward, he said, hey, shout out to Duck Nation for the support that the Sunday crowd offered him. An official crowd, by the way, of 5,182 at Hayward Field. And his win came shortly after Cook had won the 800 in a personal best time. And it was another one of those like, hey, the home crowd kind of gave you that last little jolt. I mean, that's why it's such an advantage to have it at Hayward Field. And, okay, yeah, it is an advantage. We all know that. But where else would you want to host this event? Like, if you're USC, what? No offense to any other facilities, but you ain't Hayward Field. I mean, I get that it's an advantage for Oregon. I understand that. It's an advantage for Oklahoma softball to have it in Oklahoma City, but would you want to have the Women's College World Series anywhere else? I wouldn't. I don't know. I mean, the Jane's great, but it's not right next to the USA Softball Hall of Fame. You know, like I'm just Hayward Field has that sort of history in track and field. It's the cathedral of track and field. That's why you host these events there. So EJ wins the triple jump. And I was thinking about this, like, when you're a fan at Hayward Field, you're seeing this go on, right, at the same time. And it's like, wow. These things are happening right next to each other, and the crowd gets a chance to follow along. It's pretty outstanding. So, pretty great stuff overall from Oregon track and field. Again, Mekhi Williams with a meet record 9.93 in the 100. And I thought that was just a great line that they say you can't run fast in the Pacific Northwest. You can. EJ won the triple jump, as he should, just right where he belongs. Tracktown USA, baby. Oregon softball heading to Arkansas. Melissa Lombardi, after the selection show, she chatted with the media and gave a little bit of a breakdown on Duck season so far, reaction to the selection, and getting ready for the Shockers at 5:30 on Friday night.
What's the reaction to the draw and the matchup you got ahead of you?
Good. We're excited. We're excited to go to postseason. We're excited to go to the state of Arkansas. Right now, the biggest thing that we're doing is just getting ready for Wichita State.
What do you know of them other than the nation's leader in home runs and nation's leader in batting average?
Yeah, I've coached against Wichita State for the majority of my career, so I'm very familiar with their team. I'm very familiar with their coaches. They're coached very well. They swing the bat well. They're a very, very good team.
Having that experience from last year, how much do you think that'll help you this go around?
Oh, a ton. I mean, last year we went into postseason we didn't have experience. It was our first year, and so I think to have that experience to pull from will be a huge difference for us for this year.
When there's a lot of inexperience between both the common opponents as well as the players on the field, now that you have that experience from last year and you have that experience coaching against Wichita State, how does both of those help you as you move forward towards the regional?
I think key is experience in anything you do, and you don't know until you know. And so just with what we had, just going through postseason last year and then the type of schedule that we have played all year long, I think it's going to really prepare us for postseason.
They're certainly the first opponent, but it's obviously Arkansas is regional, and you could end up facing those guys. How much did you get a chance to really get to know and work with Courtney? Obviously the 1 year back at OU in 08. It's been a minute.
Courtney's a great friend of mine, a really, really good friend of mine. I love Courtney as a person. She's an unbelievable coach. What she's done at Arkansas has been tremendous. I'm excited to go to Arkansas, and I know any game that we play is going to be a tough game. But I think for us, the most important thing that we do right now is focus on Wichita. And then, you know, whatever comes after that, then we'll worry about it at that time.
You guys have had that week off,
Yeah.
getting ready and kind of preparing in yourself. What have you seen different in this week versus, you know, say the start of the season? What kind of growth have you been able to see in these inter-squad scrimmages?
You know, the one thing that I loved just with our last couple days is just the intensity level. You know, sometimes at practice, like you always want to have a high intensity level, but sometimes it's not comparable to a game. And I really felt like the intensity that we had this weekend went a really, really long way for us. I think the weekend allowed us to recover and rest up a little bit. So I felt like we got a lot of really, really good things out of this past weekend.
Double elimination regional. How much did that change what you want to do from a strategic standpoint?
I mean, regionals, it's about getting the first one. I think everybody knows that. It's about getting game one. Get game one and then go from there. But game one is huge.
Housekeeping-wise, everyone's available? No.
How, with what the last 6 to 8 weeks in particular, what the kind of goal and plan was to set up for this, how much more confident are you in Stevie's ability to be ready to go potentially 3 straight days and what you're facing here?
I'm confident in Stevie's ability. I've watched her just really grow from the beginning of the year, from the beginning of the pack to the end of the pack to where we are now. I think she's pitching her best innings. I'm confident in our staff, in all of them. I think McKenna, you've really seen her grow from the beginning of the pack to where she is now. So I like what our pitchers are doing. The biggest thing that they can do for us is give us a chance to win, and I feel like they've been doing that.
How do you feel about your team heading into the regional, winning 5 out of 6?
I feel really good about our team. I think we're playing our best softball right now. I think we're peaking at the right time. I think of the strength of our schedule that we've had to play. We played super regionals every single weekend since conference has started, and I think that's going to really make a difference for us in postseason.
So sort of last year, Texas State, that early loss early in the regional, does that serve as sort of a cautionary tale for what not to do, put yourself behind the 8 ball this year?
For sure. Again, it's about getting game one. You know, I think for everybody that it's about getting game one. But I just think last year we went and we were prepared. We just didn't have postseason under our belt yet. And so having that, you know, learning from that last year, I think will make a big difference for us this year. You don't know what you don't know, but now we do.
Talk about Stevie's growth. Where do you think that she's grown the most, and what are you looking for from her? Because she doesn't have the same experience that the rest of the team does in the postseason.
You know, what I love about Stevie is she's just very cool, calm, collective, but she's a competitor. And I think she came in as a competitor. I think she's become an even bigger competitor. I just think now she has a better understanding about how to pitch at this level. So just for her strategy and understanding how to set up hitters and what she wants to do, how she wants her ball to break in certain counts, I think that's where I've seen like tremendous growth from her.
With the home runs in particular with her, how, as you analyze it over the course of the season, how much of it has been missed spots, which is just part of pitching, versus, you know, hitters just, you know, they are what they are. They're really good players, and they're going to get theirs too sometimes. But how much of it has been basically pitcher error versus, I guess, hitter excellence and execution? I
mean, it's a little bit of both. I mean, she's an up ball pitcher, so up ball pitchers are going to lose balls out of the yard more than a down ball pitcher. Ball's going to stay in the yard. So that's just comes along with the territory. It's just understanding how, I mean, every team we've played against offensively, you know, they can hit the ball pretty hard. It's just keeping those. We're going to lose balls out of the park. Everybody's going to. That's just the nature of our game. But it's just not walking somebody or hitting somebody to get to that point. You know, if you give up a solo, you give up a solo. That's part of it. So, but I love what she's doing. I think she's playing really, really well, pitching really, really well for us right now.
You mentioned the confidence in the staff overall, but one specific pitcher, she's admitted that she's had some struggles along the way, but Jordan, the last couple of appearances, seems like it's kind of old Jordan, where she was really, really strong. How important do you think having that availability of a lefty arm versus the rest of what she can bring to the table if she continues to do that?
Huge. Like you could see in Stanford, when we brought her in, we needed times for her to go after the lefties, and she came in and got the job done. Jordan is a great competitor too, and she's got the experience. She's an elder. So I think she's gonna be huge for us in the postseason. I think our entire staff, every single person on this team is going to provide something big for us to get what we need to get. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody get out there and compete and seeing what our team can do.
You mentioned the home runs. How does a place like Arkansas and that atmosphere differ from Oregon in terms of the actual play style? The balls travel further, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think of Arizona and the air's thin, so I don't know how, I don't know what the air is like in Arkansas, but I mean they've got a powerful offense, so I think anybody that we deal with is going to have a powerful offense. That's the reason why they're there for postseason. So I just think about what our pitching staff, has done early and where they're at now, and I think they're pitching really, really well.
Speaking of Arkansas, we were looking, their fan averages close to 3,000 per game, something like that. It'll probably be sold out, which is going to be, so it'll be one of the bigger, loudest atmospheres you guys are going to face this year, especially on the road. What are your thoughts about that? Just what it is.
Yeah, it's part of it. I would rather be in a venue where they're, cheering against us than a venue that has no fans. I mean, we've been playing against great crowds, opponent crowds all season. So they've got a great following. I would expect nothing less than for their stadium to be full for postseason.
That's how it should be in postseason. There's a reason that the regional sites are host sites, right? You earn the right to host a regional. The Ducks have been the beneficiary of it at the Jane, at Howe Field previously. You earn the right, I think, to host those regionals. Personally, I like the host regional model in baseball, softball, in addition to other sports in the NCAA, because you do have to play in the regular season to get in. You've earned the right to have your home crowd there. And you know what? The good programs, right? Their fans deserve it too, right? Just like at the Jane. Ducks are 4th nationally in attendance. Shout out again to the fans at the Jane. But 4th nationally in attendance. So, if you're Oregon going into Arkansas, Ducks are used to playing in these sorts of environments. I get that it's a thing, right? Just to have to go into the quote-unquote hostile environment. So much better going into a hostile environment than to no environment at all. Just, it's better for the sport. It's better for the student athletes. It's better for fans. It's better for everybody. I dig it. Allie Bunker, Tara Mcgowan, their reaction to the selection. The Ducks are heading to the Arkansas Regional. 5:30. The Shockers. They can hit some home runs. I'm excited. Back after this, we're going to talk softball a little bit more with some student athletes on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Money isn't interested in the fact that you dream of going to Greece, and it doesn't pace at night wondering how you'll pay for braces 3 times. The point is, money without people is just money. Only people can use it to run the family ranch, buy their first house, or adopt a happy old dog. To us, the powerful thing about money isn't money at all. It's helping you harness the power of yours. On Point. People are the point. Federally insured by NCAA. Equal housing opportunity.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
You're listening to Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Is that a faucet running?
That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink.
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest, cleaning up the air we breathe.
I didn't know the trees were so amazing.
Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb.
That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now, it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Congratulations to Oregon Track and Field, the 10th ever conference sweep. The men and the women both bringing home the Pac-12 Championship at Hayward Field. Now the summer of Hayward continues. We got a lot still coming up at Hayward Field here in Tracktown, USA. We heard from Coach Lombardi talking Oregon softball. They're heading to the Fayetteville Regional out in Arkansas. We've got Oregon baseball on the horizon. Going to hear from Mark Wasikowski after a big win over Arizona State, and now they've got Gonzaga coming up on Tuesday. Arizona in town Thursday through Saturday. The Ducks, for baseball, they still could finish as high as second and as low as sixth in the standings. They're in the Pac-12 Conference Tournament. We know that. Which, by the way, that's going to mean for us next week shows on Monday and Tuesday, but we won't have Duck Insider Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday because we got the Pac-12 baseball tournament going on. So Jordan and myself are both going to be out there, and we could play anywhere from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Legitimately. Like, that's what logistically on the broadcast side and the team is trying to figure out. So we won't have Duck Insider next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll do a lot of baseball talk later this week and into next week getting ready for that Pac-12 tournament. Ducks, I think right now are on the outside looking in from hosting a regional. Could they get into the conversation if they win some games here down the stretch, win some games in the Pac-12 tournament? Absolutely. I do think that's still within striking distance because Oregon's played one of the toughest schedules in the nation if you look at the latest rankings. So baseball, we got more on that coming up. Let's hear a little bit from Allie Bunker, one of the leaders of this team who just, another all-conference selection for Allie Bunker. She's been really good this year. Her reaction to the Ducks getting ready to face Wichita State on Friday at 5:30 in the NCAA tournament.
You talked about the Pac-12 being a grinder. It break you down, show all your flaws, and humble people. It basically did that. What did you guys learn, and how do you think that's going to prepare you for going to Arkansas and playing Wichita State?
I think the biggest thing is we've faced every single type of pitcher there is, and that's usually the hardest thing is pitching and defense is usually the hardest thing to adjust to, going to play great teams, and we faced great pitching and defense all year, so I'm really excited to see us because, there's nothing we haven't seen.
What do you, when you, the top three opponents, obviously, when things don't go your way against the best three teams who you play, so there's an 0-10 record against top 25 teams. But that's misleading in that when you look at 26 through 50, you guys dominated those teams. So in the top 50 record, you're like 10-14, which is probably more reflective of, I would say, the overall caliber. So how do you guys kind of look at it? Because obviously there's disappointment when it's UCLA and ASU and Washington when it didn't go your way, but on the larger body of work, you guys have had a lot of success and dominated some teams who were very close to those caliber teams.
I think even in our losses, we've had some really close losses where it could have gone either way. And I think when it gets to postseason, you kind of forget all your wins and losses up to that point. You remember the things you've learned from the wins and losses, but you don't remember the outcomes of those games because in postseason it doesn't matter. You could be a team 4 times in regular season and face them in postseason and win, and that's all that matters. So, I don't think we look at our wins and losses record from this point forward because we're going to Arkansas and we're playing 3 great teams, so that's all we're thinking about.
Sort of along that same line, you win 5 out of your last 6, but you also have the off week where a lot of teams don't this week. How big is momentum a factor? Or, like you said, you throw it in the rearview mirror, the wins and losses don't matter anymore.
I think anybody's going to have a lot of energy going into postseason. I think we have an advantage in that we are fresh. We had a full week of practice where we could kind of regroup and get things where they needed to be. It almost felt like January all over again. We had a couple weeks to scrimmage and be able to work on little things that we found we needed to work on. So I think we're fresh going into the weekend, and I'm excited that that's going to have a good impact for our team.
How much do you feel like the experience at Austin last year could help you?
Looking at the weather, looks like rain maybe. And last year we had plenty of rain delays, and I think that won't be an issue for us because we have plenty of veterans on this team that have gone through that, and also just the drama, I would say, that was apparent last year isn't so much this year. So all we have to focus on and all we get to focus on this year is our game and playing and just what's in front of us.
What did you feel like you learned that you can feel like you can carry into this particular regional?
Taking it one game at a time. I think last year we may have looked ahead in the first game, and I think it's imperative that we get the first game against Wichita State and look to the next game when it's going to happen. I think we could do a good job this year at knowing what to expect from the very first game instead of last year. We kind of didn't have any postseason experience. Only a couple people had been to postseason, so we had no idea what to expect, and this year we know exactly what to expect.
mentioned the weather. How much did that really long delay last year and the dugout scene, because you guys didn't leave the dugout?
Mm-hmm.
Did that actually serve as not just like a tension breaker in the moment, but actually kind of rally you guys in terms of, for those who are obviously still around now, yeah, Haley and Shay were gone and Smart, but that seemed like a team bonding thing that for the prior year and a half, you guys really didn't have a chance to do.
Yeah.
How much did that actually, that there was actual real value to, like, there's the singing and the dancing, but, like, again, like, you guys didn't have that fun element as much the prior year and a half.
I think this year, every time we talk about going into a new weekend, we think about finding the fun, just like Texas. So, like, whenever we refer to a weekend this year, it has always been like, you guys remember how much fun you guys had at Texas last year, singing and dancing in the dugout and being, like, great teammates and loving each other. And I think that's something we've looked back on and taken towards this year. I mean, you see us singing and dancing in the dugout this year a lot more than I'd say last year, and it's making it a lot funner, I'd say, for us. And bringing that into this weekend, again, is going to be even better.
As one of the leaders in version 4, I mean, as leaders, what are you guys going to be kind of setting? What standard would fans be looking for from this team going into the games?
I think not as many jitters this year going into the first game. I think we're going to talk with the young ones and let them know what to expect and what we kind of went through last year and our emotions, and kind of, like, let them know what it's going to feel like. And I think that'll help them kind of feel like they've already experienced it with us. And so just taking that and having the veterans lead the charge this weekend, and so the younger ones follow, is going to be really important.
And this is easy to say, but obviously, the last couple of series, it looked like the pitching staff played to the defense a lot more, rather than trying to put everybody down, letting the batters hit, letting the defense do their jobs. Is that something that you think you guys will be able to continue going into this?
Yes, 100%. I think our pitchers have figured a lot of things out this year. They've been battle tested, they've gone through it, they've figured it out, and they've come up strong the last couple weekends. And I think they have found their groove, and all of us have found our groove together. Pitching, defense, and hitting have all found ways to win together, and I think that's what we need this weekend in order to win.
Congratulations on the Pac-12 recognition. What does that sort of recognition mean for you and your teammates when you get honored like that?
It means a lot to me. It's a dream come true for me to be able to recognize like that. I don't really think about it too much when we're playing, because anybody can do anything at any point. And so especially this weekend, no one's really going to care who's all whatever we are. So all I can do is go forward and just play like I've been playing and do what I can do for my team.
Allie Bunker, great conversation with her. And, I think with this team, this Oregon team in particular, I am really excited to see what they do in a regional, because they've played such a difficult schedule. And now they're playing a team in Wichita State, very good. You got to gather your scouting report here quick. And at some point, regionals are just like, just go play. Just go play softball. And Coach Lombardi's talked about that with us a few times. Like, we just need to go play. Do what we need to do. I think that this team is built well for a regional in that way. When we come back and hear from Tara Mcgowan, another all Pac-12 selection, she has been excellent since she's come back. Imagine if the Ducks had her all season long. Scott says they'd be hosting. Maybe. Hear from Tara Mcgowan next. Ducks getting ready for the Arkansas Regional on Friday. Keep it here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics, because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCAA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too. Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and experiences connect through conversation, and it feels good.
This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too. Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together. Start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesmaned the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart savings strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Second Insider presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. The Ducks getting set to head to the Arkansas Regional for Oregon softball. Baseball getting ready for Gonzaga tomorrow at 6 o'clock, and then Arizona Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Track and field bringing home the conference championship for both the men and the women. And Oregon men's golf in the NCAA Stockton Regional. They're continuing in action today. We'll have more updates for you tomorrow. Ducks hoping to be one of the top 6 out of that Stockton Regional. Then they would advance to the National Championships, where Oregon women's golf is already headed. They'll be out there starting on Friday. We're going to talk with Derek Radley on the show later this week. They're also meeting with the media. Oregon women's golf is this afternoon. We'll have more from them over the course of the week as well. Also this morning, we sat down with Courtney Nagel, Oregon women's tennis head coach. Phenomenal conversation after a very successful season for the Ducks getting to the NCAA tournament. Very young team. We have that conversation for you later in the week as well, in addition to some more of our Hall of Fame recognition from the inductions that were just last week, if you can believe it, or 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago now. Oh, jeez. I was in Arizona last week, right? That's where I was on Thursday. Tara Mcgowan, the Oregon softball standout. After the selection was made, Ducks will play Wichita State at 5:30 approximately on Friday to open the regional round. Tara Mcgowan met with the media after selection.
The draw and heading to Arkansas and starting off with Wichita State?
I think anytime you hear your name for postseason softball, it's a big win for the team and the school, and we're excited. I mean, we talked all year about a faceless opponent, and I think you see the teams that focus on themselves go further in postseason than the teams that focus on their opponent, so that's what we're trying to do.
When you immediately, but just I'm assuming you know that you have the nation's leader in batting average and home runs in Wichita State, and as a catcher, that's obviously a huge part of your role, is making sure they don't live up to that. How exciting is that kind of a challenge for you, as a for the role that you play, to basically try to nullify what they are bringing to the table?
Yeah, I think our pitchers have been on a hot streak the past couple weeks, and it's only up from here. And I'm excited to see what they do with hitters such as the one you're speaking of, and I think it's going to be a really fun regional.
Having that experience from last year, what do you tell some of the younger players that they can possibly take in going into this regional?
Yeah, I think all year we've been talking about what the Texas Regional did for us as a program, and we've been trying to replicate that every weekend. And I think this team is battle tested, and we don't refer to the freshmen as freshmen anymore. So I think just letting them know to take it one game at a time and enjoy it. But other than that, I think our freshmen are elite, and they're going to handle their own out there. So,
having already experienced the regional last year, what is this week of preparation going to look like for you ramping up for this weekend?
Yeah, I think we're going to have 2 really good days of practice at home and then 2 days of practice on the road, and it's going to go by fast. That's all I remember from last year, is it goes by fast. But once you step on the field Friday, it is what it is, and hopefully you did what you needed to do during the week.
Is it extra time in every category, on the field, in the film room, scouting, everything like that?
Yeah, I can guarantee you at least half of our team is probably watching film right now. And that's just who we are. So yeah, I think just doing the extra on your own, but also taking the time you have with the coaches very seriously and using it to your advantage.
One of the things that the team has tried to do is get all 3 cylinders working at the same time, having 2 out of 3 kind of misfiring. Along those lines, how do you feel like the team is having this week preparation, kind of extra week of preparation going in? You guys ready to go?
Yeah, I think in addition to this week, the past 2 weeks of Pac, you really saw all 3 cylinders firing, and we continue that through practice, and we got to bet on each other and bet on ourselves this week instead of, focusing on an opponent. So that was really, really nice to be able to focus on those 3 cylinders rather than somebody else.
One of the cylinders, pitching, it seemed like the last couple of weeks, the staff as a whole, individually sometimes someone would step up, but the staff as a whole seemed to step up. Even Jordan coming back and kind of shutting down when she was called upon. What are your thoughts about having everyone kind of firing at optimum?
Yeah, I think that's something that nobody has seen this year from us yet. So I think it's going to be kind of a shock and refreshing. And they've been working really hard in the pen with Coach Lombardi. And this week at practice, you saw a whole new staff. And I think that's going to show up this weekend. And it's going to be fun to see it all working together finally.
I realize you didn't catch Stevie a ton before the hand injury, so it's been mainly since you've returned. But how have you seen her game evolve or improve over the course of the season, where I realized that when Brooke went down, that basically that this season in a large way was about, yes, winning as much as possible, put yourselves in the best position, but ultimately developing the staff to be ready for this time. And she was going to be a huge factor in that. So how have you seen her ready herself now to where, all right, it's time for her to go out there potentially 3 straight days and win you guys a weekend so you can play next weekend?
I think that's been Stevie's MO ever since she stepped foot on campus. I think she's been a baller, and I see a lot of Brooke in her, which is really nice because I think we have a very similar connection as Brooke and I do. And Stevie's a baller. There's not much else to say. She's going to go out there and she's going to put in the work, and I love catching behind Stevie.
Does she have as many routines and regimens as Brooke, though?
Nobody can live up to Brooke's routine. You can quote me on that.
Yeah. Your team has won 5 out of 6 heading into this. How can you carry some of that momentum over to this particular regional? And what do you feel like your team is at right now currently?
Yeah, I think, again, just seeing the cylinders all fire together the past couple of weeks really sets us in a good spot going into regionals. And we have quite literally been betting on ourselves and each other at practice. And, again, as long as we stick with our plan and in our bubble, we're going to be really successful and have a really great trip.
One of the things about Arkansas that we've noticed is the fan base. It's a very large capacity stadium, probably going to be sold out. So what do you think about being able to play in a stadium that's going to have full capacity, not all rooting for the Ducks?
Yeah, I think with schedules we've had in the past, going to Oklahoma State, going to Texas, going to some big stadiums, a lot of us veterans have that experience. And again, the freshmen are battle tested. I'm not worried about them at all. And I think the Jane is electric, and whether you're in a stadium rooting for you or against you, you can feel the energy either way. So I think it's going to be a fun atmosphere.
They don't have a lot of West Coast kids, but there's a couple of California players, I think, on the Arkansas roster. So do you happen to know any of them?
Yeah, Danielle Gibson and I played together a little bit in travel ball at Arizona State, so I'm excited to see her.
Congratulations on the Pac-12 first team, especially having only played about half the season. What does that mean to you to get honored like that?
Yeah, I think I've said this before, but the team did an amazing job keeping me involved during my injury, and I think being able to come back and just step into a lineup of veterans, whether they were freshmen, returners, or transfers, was really refreshing. And I think having the lineup we had made me a lot less stressed and be able to kind of just compete at my own pace.
Do you feel like with the batting protection behind you, you're more comfortable in the box?
Yeah, I think we have a stellar lineup. I think it's pick your poison, and at any point, anyone in that lineup can go yard. So I love our lineup, and I think we're going to continue to excel in postseason.
What are you most excited for? I mean, all of the obvious ones, but what are you most excited for going here this week?
I'm excited to have a full circle moment with version 1, plus obviously the newbies. We were speaking earlier, Jazz has never been to postseason, so I'm really excited to see that, and just all the hard work we put in this year and all the adversity we faced really just come through for us.
Tara McGowan, awesome stuff, talking about what is truly that's what makes it magical about the postseason, right? Because it is kind of a new season. There's a reason that there's the preseason, the regular season, and the postseason. You do kind of break it up like that, and the preseason, all that off-season work, that's where you hope pays off, and then you hope that it really pays off at the end of the year. Everything that you've learned from preseason, regular season, pays off in the postseason. That's the hope anyway. So Oregon softball getting ready to head to Arkansas. The Ducks in Fayetteville playing Wichita State 5:30 on Friday. I think pitching is going to be a key, no doubt about it, when you're facing a very good offense in Wichita State. But the Ducks are battle-tested. Again, second toughest schedule that they've played in the country. Oregon baseball, a tough schedule as well. So as we're talking right now in the 1 o'clock hour on Monday, the latest strength of schedule rating has Oregon baseball at number 7. Not bad, huh? Not too bad. Well, after the sweep of Arizona State, the Ducks, they're in the postseason tournament. We know that they're going to the Pac-12 tournament, a chance to win the conference tournament. We'll see if they're able to do that. Recapping the weekend for you. On Friday, the Ducks jumped Arizona State in the first and second. They played 3 in each frame, and they sustained the offense. The Ducks scored in 6 of the 9 frames the Ducks did. Pitching was excellent with their new setup as well. They used the opener in Christian Schifatelli, and he did not allow an earned run. And then R.J. Gordon went a career-high 6 1/3 and allowed 1 earned run. R.J. Gordon, I'm going to give him a quality relief. Quality start, that's a stat. Why can't you have a quality relief? He had the stats to have a quality start, even though he did it out of the bullpen in 6 1/3. He actually went 1-2-3 on 3 pitches in the 7th. You're not supposed to swing at the first pitch if you go down 1-2 on the first 2 pitches, but Arizona State did it. So R.J. Gordon walks off the hill throwing 3 pitches in the 7th, and he's just like, I'll take it. It was pretty cool moment, and Rio Britton got the final out. And to be honest, R.J. Gordon, he got a home run hit against him in the 9th inning. A couple of hits also in that 9th inning. If you remove the 9th, he was absolutely outstanding, and he was still great, really good on Friday. And Rio Britton got that final out. Solid win, set the tone. Despite some defensive errors, actually, the Ducks set the tone, and well, heading into Saturday felt pretty good because Isaac Aon was originally scheduled to come out of the bullpen for the Ducks. That's right. Isaac Aon was going to come out of the bullpen for the Ducks on Friday, but R.J. Gordon was so good, the Ducks were able to start him on Saturday. He got the ball, and he had a career high in strikeouts, but he did take the loss. Ducks scored 4 in 1 frame, and that was it. They didn't have the sustained offense. Arizona State won the game 6-4. Ducks didn't play stellar defense, and Sunday was the rubber match. They also didn't get some key hits with runners in scoring position. That was kind of my big takeaway from the Saturday game. Then on Sunday, the Ducks dominated 15-5. They executed in the 4th. 2 runs in on a double squeeze. You love to see it. Colby Shade put it down. 2 runs scored. Brennan Malone scored on a Little League home run. He kept the pressure on the defense on a ball down the right field line. Gets thrown away. It ricochets away. Not too far away, though, from second base. He goes for third. Throw goes wide of the bag. What does he do? Brennan Malone comes home. He slides in head first, and he laid on home plate for about 10 seconds. Little League home run. Ducks in the process set a new single-season team record for runs in a year. And they're not done yet. They've already set the RBI record. They've set the home runs record. Now the runs record for the Ducks in a single season. Ducks actually had 3 sacrifice hits in the game, and they had 4 the entire weekend. You know how many they had sacrifice hits entering the weekend? 11. Now they have 15. Wild that the Ducks were able to execute the way that they did. And Jay Stoffel set a career high in innings pitched at 4 2/3. The entire pitching staff didn't issue a walk in the Sunday game. Excellent work. Mark Wazakowski, I think he was pretty happy post-game.
Hadn't been done here before. Take a series at Arizona State. Just your thoughts.
Tough ball game. The guys really responded. They came out. They swung the bats very well. Relentless pressure. Pitchers pounded the strike zone. It was great to see that, and the defense was great all the way down to the end. Really proud of the team. They executed very, very well. Continued to swing the bats, and it was just a lot of fun being around them in the dugout. The energy was just a lot of fun. So good day to be a Duck. Good day to come out of Arizona with a 2 out of 3 series victory versus a tough Arizona State program, and we're looking forward to Tuesday versus Gonzaga there at home.
Triple digits, and the Ducks won by double digits, 15-5, and they had to do it with the sunshine adversity, frankly. So a big win for the Ducks. When we come back, I want to look at those postseason projections and what a win for the Ducks in a few different categories. Finishing up the show next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Money isn't interested in the fact that you dream of going to Greece, and it doesn't pace at night wondering how you'll pay for braces 3 times. The point is, money without people is just money. Only people can use it to run the family ranch, buy their first house, or adopt a happy old dog. To us, the powerful thing about money isn't money at all. It's helping you harness the power of yours. On Point. People are the point. Federally insured by NCAA. Equal housing opportunity.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Back in the Country Financial Studio, Duck Insider presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you. Thanks again for being with us because it's a good day to be a Duck. Your Cafe Yum 2-minute drill. Track and field champions. Pac-12 champs, men and women. 10th conference sweep. Oregon baseball, series win against Arizona State. First time that Oregon baseball's ever beaten Arizona State in a series in Arizona. Oregon softball heading to the Fayetteville Regional. Ducks taking on Wichita State at 5:30 approximately on Friday. It's on ESPN+. KWVA, the student radio station, is going to have the call as well. Ryan will be out there. And what a win. With Oregon baseball and softball both getting to 30 wins, Ducks are one of 4 Power 5 athletic departments to celebrate a 10-win football season and 20 by both men's and women's basketball. With the Diamond Sports getting to 30, the Ducks are the only athletic department that had a 10, 20, 30 football, basketball, Diamond Sport. 5 teams that are just outstanding. You'll love to see it. Good luck to men's golf. See you tomorrow.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. That's right. They can help save lives by simply washing their hands. Just 20 seconds of thorough hand washing after they've coughed or sneezed or been outside can help fight against the dastardly spread of germs. Armed with only soap and water and hands, your superhero can protect you, your family, and everyone out there in America land. Amazing! Find out more at coronavirus.gov.